then there are wants, things that don't need to happen, but your brain still wants them. I like to think about these things as pleasures, dopamine, and comfort. But because it's efficient, it's always going to go towards the lowest hanging wants first. Pleasures that are the easiest and fastest to get. So unless you actively try to fight it via awareness, or willpower, or discipline, whatever, your brain is just doing it to keep you alive, and then chase short-term pleasures until you die. Just try it for a day. Just let your brain make all the automatic decisions.
What it do, YouTube? I ain't gonna lie, today we got ourselves an appointment video that we locking into. You feel what I'm saying? Now the reason why I watched a little bit about this video, and like off rip, like 5 minutes in here, I was like, yo, this is some real spill. You feel what I'm saying? But we about to dissect this motherfucker, but we about to get right up into it. You feel me? So without further ado, let's get up in this motherfucker, man.
This year is my year. I'm gonna delete Instagram.
Real quick. Shout out Malik Peace. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Malik Peace.
And focus on my goals. And what's that? This year is my year. I'm gonna delete TikTok. Wake up at 6 a.m., start a dropshipping store, do some push-ups, and finally get my shit together. This year is my year. I swear I'm gonna delete TikTok. Wake up at 5 o'clock every single morning, meditate, journal, manifest my dreams, dump everything into an NFT, get rich in crypto, and then I'm gonna find, okay, this year is my year. Waking up at 4 a.m., going on a dopamine detox. I read Atomic Habits, taking cold showers, listen to a few human podcasts, so now I know I'm ready for it. This year is 3 a.m. up, 5 side hustles, red light sauna. I still gotta delete TikTok. This is my winter arc. This year, I swear I'm actually locked. This year, wake up.
Yo, I just made a video about this, and I believe it is interpersonal intelligence. I ain't gonna lie, this is like some like facts, cause I relate to this, and a lot of y'all probably relating to this right now. It's either new year, new me. You know, y'all probably heard that one, or in this case, just locking in general. Feel me? But what you better dissect what locking in really means.
Midnight, straight into an icy lake, starting my personal brand, 10-mile run backwards, push-pull legs arm split, deleting my entire phone, no friends, no distractions, 4 years of monk mode. I will locking in. A term that mainly Gen Z has been making popular recently, which can be summed up as just getting serious, to lock your attention onto a single thing. And that thing can be less serious stuff, like playing a video game or trying not to laugh at something serious. But I want to lock in, focus, get it, never mind, on the more serious side. That when someone says they're gonna lock in, it means to really get your shit together and focus on whatever thing you want to achieve, which is typically a big goal that we have for ourselves. Usually referring to things like going to the gym or studying or something related to money, whatever. And on its own, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this at all. Locking in is necessary for doing anything worthwhile. But the problem with locking in is that it's only useful if you actually do it. But barely anyone does. We've all had that 2 a.m. motivation when we wake up and just start pacing in our rooms. When we saw a video of someone our age making $150,000 a month and to buy their parents a new house.
One thing I'm gonna tell you, you probably go get into it. Comparison is an evil drug. Comparison kills dreams. Comparison kills progress. Comparison, you don't need that. When it comes to critiquing yourself by looking at the next level, that's a whole different conversation. You feel me? It's a whole different convo.
So we start planning on becoming a millionaire in 6 months. We start researching and watching videos. Maybe go do a couple of push-ups and squats. We delete TikTok and Instagram from our phones. Maybe even pull out a journal and write down some plans about something. And we swear we're gonna go to the gym tomorrow. And then we go to bed, wake up, re-download TikTok the next day, and just repeat the cycle over
Damn,
and over
bro.
and over again. And
See,
you
I'm
know,
actually,
like
I'm actually glad I don't really be on TikTok for real. Like I might probably like once a month, twice a month. But damn, bro, TikTok be having folks like that.
that was kind of funny because we all kind of been through it. But in all seriousness, it's insanity. It's demoralizing. It gets beyond frustrating when time keeps passing, but for some reason we're not where we want to be in our lives. When we're not even on the
Too
path.
fast.
When you haven't locked
Especially
in like the
with
story you were
these
gonna do, and now it's
moving too
2025,
fast.
and you're in the same spot you have been for over half a decade. When it's your literal 40th attempt saying you're gonna do something, and you don't even believe or trust yourself anymore. Like it's not even sadness or anger. It's just numbness. But why exactly does that happen? Like, why is it so difficult to do the things we swear we want to do, yet it's so easy to do the things that we know won't help us long term? And it's not even like we don't want these things or don't even know how to get them. Because if you have an internet connection, which you have to be for watching this video, you can easily figure out exactly how to get exactly what you want out of life. Hundreds of millions of people have that ability, but then why can't people do it? Why can't people focus? Why can't people stick with something longer than 75 days? Why will 90% of people live the same year over and over and over again? Why can't Gen Z seem to lock in? Well, first of all, it's not just Gen Z who can't lock in, but almost every human for all time. Because focusing on long-term goals outside of survival inherently goes against human nature and the way our minds work. But more on that in a second.
Nah, I actually been like, yo, that's crazy. Think about it. Think about it. From cavemen days. For we used to like try to look for like 5 sticks, put together some shit, come back with some shit. You know what I'm saying? Woo, woo, woo. And then the more you step, woo, woo, wop. Bruh. The whole world, like any type of information, any type of systems, live, the whole world is legit what you watching this on, right? So a lot of shit that we doing be fast as hell. Sometimes it won't retain, you feel me?
And second off,
some
why
shit.
exactly
Hold on,
is locking in so important? Because if
This
you
shit get in
research
my
different
mind.
people who've done anything
Only.
worthwhile in any domain, they all got there doing different things during different times. But the one common denominator between all of them is intense focus over a long period of time on one thing, which is definitionally, I don't know if that's an actual word, locking in. If you want to become world champion, you need to lock in. If you want to revolutionize personal computers, you need to lock in. If you want to lead the civil rights movement, you need to lock in. If you want to make legendary films, you need to lock in. Even if you don't want to change the world, but you just want to have a family, provide for them, be in shape, and live a simple life, you still need to lock in. Because we all have a certain amount of energy and time. And if we spread out this energy evenly amongst 1,000 different seeds, the most impressive thing you'll ever grow is 1,000 blades of grass. But if you're actually able to put your energy onto one thing, sure, you might not have 1,000 blades of grass, but the one thing you will have is an oak tree. And this idea of locking in is so ingrained in us that it's been seen throughout several stories and myths throughout history. Like, for example, the Buddha. He lived his life of luxury and comfort so he could sit under a tree and fully focus on finding enlightenment. And monks are basically the definition of being locked in. They remove all distractions and everything that brings temporary mindless pleasures so they can focus on finding peace. This is also why we have the term monk mode, which is just another version of locking in. Even a lot of philosophers talk about removing distractions and focusing on what's actually important in their lives, and how chasing temporary mindless pleasures gets you
1 minute later.
nowhere long term. Because even eons ago, they understood that having your energy spread all over the place doesn't get you anywhere and leads to an empty life. And also in almost every single story with a hero's journey, they have to lock in and focus relentlessly on changing into a better person or overcoming a huge obstacle. Even in a lot of shows or movies or entertainment, if you think about it, a lot of the time, a lot of people's favorite or most memorable parts is when the character gets serious, when their eyes change, and you can tell that they don't
No bullshit. No bullshit. My nigga Goku. Hold on, man. Come on now.
care about anything else
Yeah, that's
other
crazy.
than the goal. Especially in sports, when an athlete's in the zone or they have tunnel vision and they just
Hey!
even if we look at different biographies of people in the not too distant past, or motivational speakers, or people who are alive today, they all mention the focus, the grind, the locking in, how they went through periods of relentless focus and they removed distractions so they could really get shit done. And how even during those moments, even though they weren't all sunshine and rainbows, they look back at those moments in admiration because it molded them into becoming a better human being. And I think locking in is something that we all subconsciously strive towards, because we all know that it's the closest answer we have to the big question, how to be happy. Because if you've ever actually been locked in, or you've gotten into a flow state, or just have gotten lost in the progression of an activity, you know that it's one of the best feelings that you can experience. Not buying something, not doom scrolling, not giving into instant gratification and pleasures, but the climb itself towards a worthy goal that we decide on, even if it's hard and challenges us. Basically.
Real talk. Real talk. Real. And the best way to find that passion outside of this, any of this, just going outside, bro. Go outside, whether you want to walk, jogging, sprint to the track, to the court, feel me, basketball court, football court. I said football court, fuck am I talking about? Football field, feel me, skating, biking, rollerblading, feel me, going to different parks, beaches, meeting different people, connecting and shit, woo woo woo. Whether it be a service work, hold on, man. Pop, man. What's it called? Some service work. You know what I'm saying? It's still like a way to meet different people and shit. Ooh. And like it'll lead to different tunnels. It'll lead to different tunnels just by just starting it, just doing it, going. What time is it right now? After these 2 videos I record, bro, I'm about to go skate around town. Feel me? And whatever rises up. Let's get this going.
Locking in isn't even a new concept, but if we all know it's important.
I feel like it just the language just changed over time. Like literally from probably some shit from the way back for me to literally getting serious to now locking in. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it just changed over time.
Not just important, but necessary. And it's been around for eons. And today we have more tools and information to mold ourselves into whoever we want to become. Then why doesn't it work? Like, obviously it does work. Folks will never hurt you. But then why do 95% of people never actually get the results they want to? Why can't we lock in? Okay, well, there's 4 big reasons why locking in doesn't work for most people.
I feel like, real quick, like, looking from like caveman days, their form of like locking in would probably just literally be like looking for sticks, looking for some firewood, looking for animals, you know what I'm saying? And some days, some hours, some long hours, some months, weeks, it'll probably be a struggle looking for whatever you're looking for. But you still know the goal. You still know what you need to focus on and shit. You feel me? Don't mean you're gonna get it like that. You know what I'm saying? It could be some time to you. What? Now apply that into today. Especially with a lot of obstacles, a lot of systems, a lot of different things in a way. You know?
Most people have no why. Most people don't even start with a reason. The purpose of why they're deciding to lock in.
Key.
They say they want to change, but don't even know why. Like, why go to the gym? Why start a business? Why study? Why make money? Why wake up at 4 a.m.? Those things are not bad to do at all. But if you don't have a damn good reason on why you're doing them, you will not do them by yourself long term. Because we all have this thing called a brain, and your brain is going to control your automatic baseline behaviors. And your brain is brilliant, but it's also lazy. Not because it's trying to be lazy, it's just because it's trying to be efficient. And your brain doesn't care about anything except surviving long enough to reproduce. Everything else it will put in as little effort as possible. And your brain will always automatically focus on 2 things: needs and wants. Needs are different things like breathing, food, water, shelter, safety, like stuff like that. Your brain will literally fight to the death to meet these things.
Fact.
Like literally, it will put your life at risk and put you in danger until those needs are covered. This is why you usually see people doing extreme things during life or death situations.
I'm pretty sure that's the emo.
because your brain is no longer messing around. This thing needs to get done. And then there are wants, things that don't need to happen, but your brain still wants them. I like to think about these things as pleasures, dopamine, and comfort. But because it's efficient, it's always going to go towards the lowest hanging wants first. Pleasures that are the easiest and fastest to get. So unless you actively try to fight it via awareness, or willpower, or discipline, whatever, your brain is just doing it to keep you alive. And then chase short-term pleasures until you're done. Just try it for a day. Just let your brain make all the automatic decisions. You're probably going to do nothing the entire day except just sit there and survive and just give into instant gratification activities and just be lazy. Anyways, the reason it's so hard to focus on boring things, especially long term, is because our brain is fighting us the entire time because it doesn't understand why we're trying to force it to do something it doesn't need to do, because it doesn't care about your goals. The things we want to achieve are not needs. And if it's not a need, your brain will default to going towards easier wants. Like, you don't need to get in shape. You want to. You don't need to start a business. You want to. You don't need to do a lot of things because the world can handle all of that for you. And the stuff you want out of life will make you feel good eventually. But the path to getting there is long and boring, uncomfortable, and risky. And your brain hates those things, especially when
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
it can feel good instantly all the time. So unless it's truly important to you and your brain, you will inevitably fold. Think back to whenever you're working on anything. Automatically, probably several times, your brain will ask you, why? And if you don't have a good answer to that question, your brain will just slowly turn off. But then imagine those times whenever you had a good why for something. It feels like you have almost this unlimited restless energy. Like, have you ever had a day in which you had something huge planned for the next day and you were able to wake up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning with almost zero effort? Almost like your brain automatically woke you up. It's because you were actually excited to get up because you had a strong reason why to get up. Versus the days whenever you hype yourself up with some empty promises, you don't plan anything, you don't have a why, you just saw someone else doing it, and now that 5 o'clock alarm goes off, and there's gonna be a 90% chance you're gonna hit snooze and go right back to bed. And it is kind of corny, but it's that quote where it's like, any why can be any how. Because if you have a strong enough why, you will do it. And the reason why can be good or bad. If someone put a gun to your head, is one of those things we've heard our entire lives. And it shows us that we will do crazy shit we don't want to do if you have a good reason behind it, even if it's negative. Same with if someone gave you $1 billion, shows the crazy shit we will do trying to chase a huge reward. But most people usually have neither of those. They're just floating.
Right now, word to my soul, I get $1 billion. First thing I'm doing, chop it in half. I mean, then putting that half, if I'm saying, up in some wop. The other half that I'm hearing, I mean, I'm gonna split that up into some type of fraction. I can't give a solid number, but some fraction. Pass it to the fam. You feel me? Then after the, fraction I keep for myself, I'm gonna split that. Pass it to the Z folk. And then the shits that I have, I'm finna just word of my soul, just pass it. Word to my soul. And the shit that I got stored up in the YZZ, there's gonna be some shit that I'm gonna do with that to make some more shit.
Floating around in the middle. They don't have a pain they're running from or a huge reward to chase. So a big reason people can't lock in or focus on something long term is because they don't even have a good, strong reason why behind it. Like, it needs to be something bigger than, I want to get rich or I want a six pack. But like, why? And why that? If someone says they want a six pack but don't really have a good reason,
and why that? See, I had the why part down, but the why that on top of the why. Bullshit. I ain't gonna lie, make sure, yo. I'm about to run this shit back and then get to cause why and then the why that. Think about that.
why, then there's a 99% chance they just won't do it. But then if someone says they want a six-pack because they were bullied their entire lives and they want to prove to themselves that they can do it, that's a much stronger why they'll push them to do things that they don't want to do, even when they don't want to do it. For most people, the goal disappears for themselves as soon as they put their phone in their hand. It's not something that's so important to them that it bothers them not going towards it. Something so important to them that doing anything outside of the progression of that goal seems like a waste of time. Something that would be
First of all, the animation in this shit is... Just want to say that real quick.
Last thing on their mind whenever they go to sleep and the first thing on their mind whenever they wake up. If you can find that thing and focus on it, then locking in becomes almost automatic, because then you simply do whatever it takes to achieve that goal. But most people never have a bigger reason other than "Boys on the internet told me to take cold showers," and then are surprised whenever they can't keep it up. 2, most people have extremely short-term thinking and low attention spans. Most people see locking in as a quick sprint, not even a 100-meter sprint, more like a 40-yard or a 20-yard dash, when it's actually an ultra marathon that never really truly ends. If you are trying to reach a goal that takes years, a few weeks of effort isn't going to do anything, no matter how much effort you put in. Most of the goals we have for ourselves are pretty big, highly variable, and don't have a clear path. And it's probably going to take...
The effort do count, though. Don't get it twisted. The effort do count, because in that same marathon, you can... There's no set way to do it. Some can sprint, jog, walk. Even if you're just walking the whole path, there's nothing wrong with that. But walking that whole path, you're going to be delayed to that. Why? Other than you have to say, jog, then walk. Jog and walk. There's no right or wrong, you feel me? But it's all about the effort as well.
Hours and days and months, maybe even years of trying before any results begin to show. You have to front
that's crazy. That's
load so much effort before you'll be rewarded on any of that effort. And the modern world has trained us at every step to expect everything to be instant and comfortable. And this, combined with our highly efficient, lazy-ass brains, make being instantly, comfortably numb addicting. I've already talked about it a lot in this video, but social media, especially short-form content, has fucked our attention spans to the point that focusing on long-term projects becomes damn near impossible. Like, we've been taught that if the reward doesn't come in 10 seconds or less, we can just swipe and find something else that will satisfy us. Even outside the screen, the world is full of comfort and convenience, and basically anything you need for survival can be yours faster than any point in the history of ever, and just continues to get even faster and faster. And this is fine when it comes to general comfort.
I fuck with the e-bikes. Don't get it twisted. I fuck with the... Yo, them shits push. Yo, what the fuck? Them shits push. Bro, I'm on a goddamn e-bike. Mine, I'll just start from me pedaling that motherfucker. I start. I'm like, damn, bro, this shit going like that. For me, like, yeah, I like my pedals, like my manual pedals, where I'm really getting shifty. The e-bike is type hefty, so you can't really, but that shit push. That shit push, but don't play with it. Don't play. But New York though, like. It look fire. The buildings, the architect, you know what I'm saying? Everything look fire. The stores, everything look fire. People there fire. But it's to a point, like, damn, bro, all these damn, bruh. It be mad shit going on in that motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. If overstimulated was a person or a state, it would definitely be, you know what I'm saying, New York. Be a vibe though. If you're looking for a vibe, if you're looking to get lit, and I'm a Dominicano. New York, bro.
And quality of life, but it does skew our perception of other things. And this is very, very noticeable whenever we remove all of our phones. And
bro, with social media, like I remember making a video about this some time ago for me. With social media, bro, especially when it comes to like seeing hard shit, like you're seeing some sad shit on social media, bro. And all you can really do is, you can leave a comment, like it, to spread the awareness, to spread the video out there, but scroll or get off the app, depending on how you feel after seeing that shit. Because it's like, it's easier said than done to like literally just move away from like social media. Because let's say you're a business, or let's say you have a thing that you're pushing out there, you're gonna be on the media.
distractions and try to focus on something that takes longer than 10 minutes. Because like you can't put the grind in 2x speed. There is no skip button. There is no real life montage when it fast forwards a month in 3 seconds. If things get boring and hard, which they will, you can't just swipe to a better moment. And since most people expect to become a millionaire in 2 weeks by opening a dropshipping store and reading 25 pages of Atomic Habits, like it's no wonder why a lot of people fail, because they didn't do the right things long enough. I remember whenever I was 12 or 13 years old, I wanted to get abs. So I did some research on YouTube and I found one of those 6-minute ab workout videos. And I did what it said, but I got really mad at the very end because it said I had to repeat everything I just did 4 times. And I thought I got scammed, but I didn't realize until I got older that it's repetition over time that builds results. Because like the video wasn't lying. Like if I would have done what the video said, I would have gotten abs. But it wouldn't just take one set, but maybe like 600 total sets over the course of months before I started to see a really huge difference. But I didn't know at the time that if you just do the simple things, the things we try to avoid over a long period of time, that's what builds results. Anyways, we are in a constant search for a shortcut, the easy way out. But today, since we have so much access to the internet and information, we can stay constantly trapped looking for the next shortcut instead of just doing the things we know we need to do. We will waste more time looking for that shortcut rather than just doing the actions we know we should be doing. But that doesn't sound cool. That's why whenever you hear about it, whenever you hear about someone locking in, it's usually for like 75 days or for 6 months. But if you really think about that, like it doesn't exist. Like, yes, time exists, but 6 months doesn't really mean anything because now is the only moment that you exist, and it just comes down to what you're actually doing now in this moment. Because what happens after 6 months? If you can actually pull through the actions, like, does it stop? Are you finally done? There is no point in which you're going to reach the point in which is like, oh shit, I finally did it. Now I can chill and do nothing, because the next day will always come. So in a real way, there really is no true finish line. This is usually why trying to do something unsustainable will never work. Whenever people say they're going to lock in, they're not trying to do something long term. It's just a quick burst. A quick burst might work for specific situations, like cramming for a test, or, might help once or twice. But those who make it don't do quick bursts. They just do. Sprinting won't get you to the end when the road wraps around the entire earth. Like, I'll use David Goggins as an example. He runs a lot, as we all know. But usually if you watch him run, especially in the middle of those like 100-mile long races, he is not sprinting. He's not hauling ass. He's keeping a pace that he can constantly maintain over the course of the entire race, which might only be around like 4 or 5 miles per hour, not a 15, 20 mile per hour sprint, because he knows that if he does do that quick burst that we all try to do, he will fail. Because if you know before you even lock in that you're not going to focus on it long term, you might as well not even start. Because it's easy to get hyped and do the right things for a day or two, but what about day 67, month 14? Like, is it something you can...
That's facts. Even like something with me being like overly, like being in overly plan mode. Like, you're just planning shit and you're just going. Like, that in itself, like, it kills the drive for just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally, life is the best teacher. Life is your best teacher. And whether it's, let's say, a certain business plan, a certain service you want to provide, certain thing you're building, being stuck in that planning process. I mean, depending on what it is, obviously you gotta get your shit, together. Shit, you already know what you gotta do. But being stuck in that shit is something you don't want to do. You feel me? And just doing it, and then you learn as you go. You learn as you're stepping. You feel me? You're having faith within the initial plan, but you're just going. You're just flowing. Even if you scratch up, take it back, learn what you learned throughout this time span, then keep it going. Drop that shit. Keep it going. Fuck with this.
Do until the end, until you actually reach your goal. It's better to put in 30% effort for a year than 110% effort for 2 weeks. 3, it's a performative mindset. Like most things, people like to declare shit before doing shit because it makes them feel like they did something. Like, it feels good to say, I'm locked in, or to post about it, or to say that you're going to go ghost on your Instagram story. But doing all that doesn't mean anything happened in real life. It doesn't mean you're any closer to your goals. It can be the first step, but If it's not followed up by action, it doesn't matter. For most, locking in is just
Faith without the action is something I cannot. Faith without the action is something I cannot do.
another feel-good statement. Most people care more about how others perceive them than their perception of themselves. And once again, this is a human brain thing. Like, we are social creatures and we care about what other people think about us, but sometimes we focus way too much on how we appear to be doing versus what we are actually doing. And whenever we tell the world that we're locked in and people celebrate us and hype us up, our brains make us feel like we did something, even though we didn't do anything. That's why it feels good to post stuff instead of actually doing stuff, to make plans and journaling instead of actually doing what you wrote down, to do the little weird habits like cold showers or meditation or reading some popular self-help book. Why it feels good to watch someone else be productive even though we haven't done anything. Just because you see someone else waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning doesn't mean you waking up at 11 a.m. is the same thing. It's so easy to trick yourself because you feel inspired. You feel like you've been to the gym. You feel like you bought the Ferrari. But if you zoomed out and you watch yourself in third person, all you did was sit there and just consume content for an hour. Now, a little asterisk. I think content like this is fine to consume if you're taking action alongside it, and it's just helping you keep the fire hot. If you're going to be on social media for hours every single day or listening to podcasts, whatever, it is better to be consuming a bunch of...
On a day-to-day, like, we consume a whole lot. This don't make it any easier. I mean, just even being outdoors, consume a whole lot. Listening to music, consuming a whole lot. Hearing out folks, consuming a whole lot. You feel me? Can't be stuck in consuming mode without no type of producing. You feel me? And now I guess the question, I mean, what are you producing and what are you consuming? Because if you're consuming something, then you're gonna produce some shaky shit. Feel me? So that's like that middle line between like what you're consuming, taking the time to really like reflect on WAP, and then put it to action. Till you stay on.
Self-improvement stuff rather than brain rot. But for most people, they're not even using it as a supplement. They're tricking their mind into thinking that alone is actual progress. It's all performative. Like, people say cool things like, I want to become a millionaire, but they don't even pick up a book. Don't even make a plan. Don't even learn what money actually is. They don't change anything. They don't try. They keep swiping on TikTok, and they think the best way to make money is to start a clothing brand with $50 or YouTube automation with faceless AI slop. They have no plan, no goal, no knowledge, no long-term strategy, just a temporary that will fade just as quickly as it came. And then most of the time, the trigger for someone locking in is watching a David Goggins TikTok yelling at them, calling them a bitch. And that might keep you going for a few hours, but it fades very fast when things get actually hard. If the cue for you locking in comes from something else other than yourself, you will fail. If you need someone to tell you to lock in, then you're not actually locked in. And most people don't know how to actually work on something outside.
That's something. But at the same time, you know, like you can be that startup for somebody else's generator. You feel me? Like, because everybody's on their own, their own level type shit. So maybe they need that other, you feel what I'm saying, to boost them up, to really get them going. You know what I'm saying? Just a little one of those, for me, little thing, gang. Feel me? And let's say you're a trainer. You feel what I'm saying? You're a fitness coach. You walking down the strip, you walking down the sidewalk. You see a you know what I'm saying, walking down the strip with some Snickers in their hand and shit. As a trainer, you just gonna walk past dude, you know what I'm saying? Or you gonna respectfully, you know what I'm saying, come up to dude. Yo, gang, what's good? Introduce yourself, you feel what I'm saying? Woo-woo. Chop it up. Maybe dude, this nigga working out is now on the top of his conscience right now. You feel me? But it's been lingering somewhere. You feel me? Stay on. The trainer's like, yo, bro, let me get you right for a couple weeks, couple months. You know what I'm saying? Woo. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a discount. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm really trying to help you, gang. Cause this is not it right here. What we talking about right now? Feel me? Dude's like, yeah, I'll let you know. Hit him with that. I'll let you know. Feel me? Woo, woo, woo. But right at that moment right there, you know what I'm saying? Like, it brought that thought that may have been lingering back up to the front. Like, yo, what you was talking about that training and shit? Yeah, let me slide through. Let me slide. Wow. Now it's the consistent part. That was just a startup. Now you gotta keep it consistent. You know what I'm saying? Because that spike, that dopamine spike, that shit'll have you doing whatever. Now it's just keeping it consistent. Self-discipline.
And other things we're told to do. Most people will put more time and effort into pleasing someone else rather than focusing on the goals they have for themselves. For example, if someone was told to be up earlier at their job at 6 a.m. instead of 8 a.m., they would be there at 6 a.m. But then if they made the same promise to themselves that they'll be at the gym at 6 a.m., they would sleep in and miss it for the third week in a row. Basically, a lot of motivational walk-in stuff is usually advertised as fun, high energy, feel good, hoorah. But if you've actually done something on your own, you realize it's the opposite. It's boring. It's hard, which is why it's difficult to stick with it, especially when you're surrounded by so many other pleasures and distractions. And if the only fuel you have is motivational TikToks or Instagram Reels, you will fail. And 4, most people have unrealistic expectations. Let's say you're locked in for 6 months. People expect those 6 months to be perfect and smooth. They think that the second they say the words out loud, I'm locked in, the universe will change and it'll be a perfect road. That one day they're just gonna start and it's gonna be this magical ride, and then get blindsided when they run into a problem 5 minutes later. People want fast, easy results. So if someone works on something for a month and sees nothing, they give up. If you ever worked on a project alone, whenever no one else told you to do it, and you actually did it and stuck with it until the very end, you realize that it took much more time than you thought it would in the very beginning, and it took more energy than you originally expected it to. 99% of your time was spent in quiet frustration and self-doubt, and there were at least 100 little roadblocks that could have stopped you at any point. It's difficult. It's hard. It actually challenges you. You're taking on a task that literally nobody is telling you to do, and you don't even have to do it. And when you reach the end, you realize why so many people never do anything long-term. Because there's a massive difference between acting like you are something versus actually doing it. The hype and the theories of how to be productive versus actually throwing all of yourself into a task and getting lost in it. You start to understand that there is no secret. The only thing you can do is do. It's not a Rocky movie when you do 5 push-ups and the whole crowd is cheering for you. It's usually dark and quiet and boring, and it's usually very lonely and unmotivating as hell. You're gonna constantly feel like you're behind, doubting yourself every step of the way, wondering if what you're doing is even worth it and if you should stop. Your brain is gonna fuck with you more than the actual task itself. And sure, there are things that you can do to help, but you can't avoid doing the boring part. The thing we know we should be doing, that we try our best to avoid. They also think that during that period, it's going to be this constant up, and every day is going to be 100%, when in reality, half the days are going to be below average. If you focused for a full year, that means 6 of those months are going to be below average. And most of that time, average doesn't even feel good. Some days are going to be missed. Most days you aren't going to do everything you set out to do. And maybe 3 of those days are going to go absolutely perfectly when all the stars align. But most people give up after 5 days because it gets hard and it doesn't meet the expectations that the world gave us. So yeah, when you combine all these things, you understand why locking in over a long period of time is so hard for most people and why it's never really easy. We are biologically hardwired to chase comfort and avoid pain. The big goals we have for ourselves are wants, not needs. And most people don't even know what they truly want and copy other people's 4 a.m. morning routine without creating their own that fits their own goals. They think results are going to happen tomorrow and care about the image of progress versus making actual progress. So when the time finally comes to sit down and do the work we know we should be doing, we stop. So if locking in can work, but it doesn't for most people, then how do you actually make it work? Well, first, step 0 is that you need to have a why, a good why, a great why, but not just a single why, but I would argue why cubed. Why to the why to the why. Just think about almost any movie or story or anyone in real life. Whenever the character has the moment in which they obsess over a goal and they lock in. Why does that happen? It's because they found their why. something clicks in their mind, and that purpose, good or bad, is something that becomes a need. And it's usually something bigger than themselves, something more than some small, vague, superficial reason like, I want to get strong, but rather something like, I need to protect the village from the evil that's gonna come in 5 years, or something like that, I don't know. And then once they find that strong reason why, stopping them becomes almost impossible, because they will put literally all their efforts into it. Or sometimes they won't stop until they're literally dead. Now in the real world, it really all their efforts into it.
You want it to be great, not just good, but the greatest. That why pushed him to focus and train harder than 99.99999% of humans ever will, and accomplish more during his life than 99.99999% of people ever. But he would have never done any of that if he had a mid-why.
Or sometimes they won't stop until they're literally dead. Now in the real world, it doesn't mean you need to save the universe from destruction or anything crazy like that. That you need to have your motivation so dark and so important that you sacrifice every little thing that ends up costing you more in the end. But the closer you can make your goal a need, the better. Or your brain's gonna fight you every single step of the way. Because okay, if you don't pick a goal that you need to do, if it's not something that's so important to you that you can't stop thinking about it, you simply won't do it. Because the world we live in today gives us so much instant comfort and pleasures and distractions, and this ocean of instant gratification is going to easily drown out a meh reason for doing something. If you're going to do something over a long period of time, you need to have something else as fuel other than your motivational, happy, feel-good emotions. Because one day you feel great, and the next you're questioning the purpose in anything. And if you solely rely on them, then your progress is also going to be random. Just random bursts of motivation that get you nowhere long term. It's corny, but it's like the quote I said earlier, how any why can overcome any how. Or if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. It sounds kind of corny, but it does have a lot of truth behind it. You constantly just do breathing, even though you're not constantly thinking about breathing. And if you don't breathe for 30 seconds, you will do anything to get air because it's a non-negotiable. Or almost any example, if someone said you had to do X, Y, or Z in 6 months, or you're homeless, or they were gonna harm you and your family, you would make it work because there's a strong reason there. But like we said before, for most people, there aren't really any real consequences for not achieving your goal. But if you don't set up any consequences, either in real life or mentally, whether or not you achieve your goals, nothing's gonna happen to you. It's basically never gonna happen because you're gonna default to comfort. Anyways, it has to be a strong why. Without that, nothing matters. Then once you have something
that comfort is like your safe haven, your safe space right here. I made a video about this. Yeah, you gotta scroll down for these motherfuckers, but your comfort right here. Right here is a stretch. Right here is a risk. And right here is like die. Like, well, I'm gonna die if I do this. That type of feeling. You know what I mean? Sticking up in here is it's not gonna cut it. Respectfully, it's not gonna cut it. Get the fuck out of it. But making those tethers, and whether you're stretching to do something, or whether you're taking a risk to start something up or continue something, or you're gonna die if you do this, you're leaving those tether marks coming back to your safe haven. Like all of that space now is your safe haven. The tether marks you complete, that's now your safe haven. And you just continue, connects. You just continue and shit. So like life is really just endless.
Actually care about. Remove everything that is not the goal. Once you have a good why, your brain is still going to fuck with you. It's still going to want to go towards the easier ones, even if the one that you have is massive and will bring you fulfillment and pleasure. You have to remove the short-term instant gratification activities, either your phone or other distractions like TV, sports, video games, other people, etc. The things we know we shouldn't be doing. Now, I'm not saying you gotta go extreme and never ever do anything ever again, but the more you remove these things, the easier it will be for your brain to focus on the things you truly care about.
The more grateful you'll be towards your surroundings. Like literally, the days where you're just like, even if it's like the whole day, a whole week, a whole month away from like any type of device, not only will your mind not be more efficient, bruh, you'll be so grateful to each singular like thing that's surrounding you. saying that crosses your path, that crosses your vision. Feel me? Whether it be people, whether it be neighbors, whether it be your own belongings. You feel me? So we're just being grateful for that shit. Feel me? This video right here.
About. Then once you have all that down, actually do it. Actually take the actions. Not talking about it, not watching videos, not posting on social media, trying to make it seem like you're doing something, but simply just doing. The times whenever I've made the biggest progress in my life or towards my goals is whenever I said fuck how I feel and just do what I know I needed to do. Because there have been a lot of times when I have just listened to my brain all day, every day, and all it does is just stop you from doing the things you know you want to do by just giving you logical reasons for an action. And probably wasn't
being stuck. You don't want to be stuck in that overthinking. You feel me? But those sit downs with like you're just sitting down, whether it be in silence from you doing nothing, and your brain is literally just yelling at you. Every like mad things throughout the day is like coming back up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's literally yelling, just going. Just sit with that, cause you need that. I mean, I feel what dude talking about, but you need that, because if you just go to your day-to-days with all of that just not even being processed, then it's just gonna keep stacking up. So there's times where you're chilling, you know what I'm saying, you're back in the Bahizi, feel me, you're back in your safe haven, everything that you've done throughout the day, from you, now that all of that can process, and you can like fully let that go, for me, because tomorrow's a new day tomorrow. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
the only thing about it is that feeling of resistance, that self-doubt, the reason not to do something is literally always going to be there. And because your brain is you, it literally knows the perfect thing to tell you to stop you from doing the things you know you want to do. It knows how to give you the perfect excuse every time. But because it's a constant and will always be there, if you listen to it, it just means you will never make any progress ever. You know exactly what you have to do, so just do it. It's simple, not easy, sure, but you are literally running out of time. Then the hard part is to just keep going. This is where almost everyone stops because it requires consistent, boring effort without getting rewarded for the long time in between. And there's no secret to this. You either do or you do not. Either you keep going or you stop. And once again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but even showing up 10% one day is infinitely better than doing nothing at all. I like to think about the Grand Canyon. To get that massive canyon, you need consistency. It took over 5 million years for it to be what it is now. And I would imagine some days a lot of progress was made, while there might have been probably years when nothing happened at all. But to get where it is now, it never truly stopped. It just kept going, even if it wasn't going full speed the whole time. And finally, this is what's helped me a lot personally. I think the last thing that you can do is expect the hard and embrace it. Of course, this is easier said than done, but a lot of the time, we don't do the things we need to do because we have the thought in the back of our minds that we're just going to have to experience discomfort and sacrifice the things we want to do or the things we want most. And it's just going to be all bad.
Hard,
every
easy,
single day.
hard, easy. Whatever your definition of hard is for me.
Is that instead of
because
thinking
your
that
hard could
I
be
get to
somebody's
experience
easy,
discomfort
and
every
somebody's
single day,
easy could be your
I try
hard.
to change it
for
to
me.
I get to experience the greatest feeling ever every single day, which is achievement towards personal goals and overcoming resistance. So I try to have that glued to the front of my mind to keep going until I remember why I started. And also I think it's helpful to remember that literally no matter what you do, it's going to be uncomfortable. Even if you do nothing and you give into your instant pleasures, you're going to feel uncomfortable knowing that you're not achieving the true goals you have for yourself. And if discomfort is going to exist no matter what, then you might as well get something from it. Once you start making actual progress towards the goals that you set for yourself, through the actions that you're taking and you're overcoming self-doubt and just pushing through resistance, it is by far one of the best feelings ever. But you have to go past that little dip before you see results. But once you get over that hill, it becomes so much easier. Like, it doesn't become easy, but easier.
Man, it's just another hill coming.
You're going to be so damn proud of yourself and remember why you started to begin with. That's it. Bye.
No, I'm jacking it. Hold on. That's it. Bye. I just really wanted to like peep this video, not only for myself, you feel what I'm saying, but for the folks tuned in. Y'all know the vibes, y'all know how we get down over here with LifeofaZ. I took a lot out of this. Because we all have our moments where something we pop out, talking about something we got locked in. Whether it could be locking in a job to like raise up some bread, or locking in for me on schoolwork. You feel what I'm saying? Locking in on a certain task that you got going on. Feel me? Woo. And depending on how you obviously, you know, say lock in, majority of the time, you gonna get it done. You know what you gotta do to get it done. Feel me? That same like lock in mindset, that same lock in type of, I guess you could say, energy. Having that literally throughout your whole day. You feel what I'm saying? Knowing for me, step by step, incremental by incremental. You feel me? Just doing what you just doing. There is no really set, you know what I'm saying? We was just doing. You might have a set plan, but plans never go according. You feel what I'm saying? They never go according. Always get jumbled up, but it's needed. I mean, it's needed in a way. This video right here, Gen Z's addiction to locking in. But without further ado, peace.